Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me turn around here and get placed in. Get nice and situated. I told you guys I'd be doing another deck profile today in my most recent video between the test beans on the virtual world, and I'm going to be doing a virtual world that won today, boys and girls. Without further ado, we shall get started. Okay, so my first take, what do I want to go with first? Alright, so we're going to elaborate virtual monsters, give a general idea of what they do. I just threw the deck together. I just recently got built and tested out. It's pretty nice. I've gone against this in locals before. It's very effective, has a lot of field presence, a lot of control. Cycles from field to grave, well, from hand to field, then the grave, then grave to banish, and then from banish pile back to deck. It's a pretty interesting deck, so we're going to get started. So monster wise, we're going to go with 3 virtual world GGs. GG's pretty nice. He's like what most virtual world cards do, most of what the monsters do. You have him in your hand, you target a virtual world card you control. He doesn't destroy the target, you just have to have a virtual world card on the field. So another virtual world monster, your virtual world gate, whichever. Target it, pitch a different version of, because how they do it is a monster spell or trap. So for example, if you use GG and you target a monster, his effect is you're going to pitch a spell or trap to the grave to special summon him, and then on your end phase, if he's brought out or special summoned off his effect, you can special summon a level 3 monster on your end phase, which that plays in really heavily to this. Run 3 of these, he's really good. I mean, honestly, most of the monsters in this deck are just straight up special summon extenders from hands to make your sync plays, your XYZ plays, and in my case, link plays, because, I mean, gotta get rid of Dragoon somehow, right? Alright, so 3 GGs, very simple. He's a little 3-star boy, not a tuner though. We're gonna take him out. Then we're gonna go 3 virtual world My Hummy Lulu, and I'm probably gonna butcher half these names, but these names are hilarious. I love it. Now she's your keystone of this deck. She's a tuner. She has the same initial effect as GG. You target a virtual world card you control. You pitch, like say if you target, it's a monster spell trap. So say if you target a monster, you're gonna pitch a spell or trap. Say if you pitched a spell, when she hits the field, her second effect is if I target a monster and if I pitched a spell to grave, then the other type that I did not use yet, I can add it from my deck to hand. So in that case, for the example, it'd be a trap. And she comes out as a special extender, a 3-star tuner. Very nice, very pretty looking card too. Like, look at this. This shines very nice. Yes, it is from the tin. I don't care. It looks good. It's a very good extender. But she comes out initially the same way as GG, but GG lets you special summon a 3-star monster. Well, he lets you add it to your hand on end phase. I think I got that wrong earlier. My bad. Anyways, she cycles herself to field, she cycles something to grave, and cycles something else to your hand. So, a whole lot of maneuvers you can do off that. I'll explain some virtual world plays after I'm done with the deck profile, because I feel like with this kind of deck and how it runs, you need some type of explanation to it. Alright, next you're going to I run 3 virtual world Kirin Lily. Lily's effect is the same as the other virtual worlds, where you target a virtual monster, monster spell trap on your field, and then pitch one to your graveyard from your deck that is different from your target. So same exact way as them two. But when he hits the field, he's able to pitch a additional. So in turn, say if you have a virtual monster on the field, you target it, use Lily's effect, pitch a spell card to grave. He comes to the field, he'll get his second effect if you choose to, which is the choice, which is beautiful. and then you can pitch a trap card to grave as well. Now with this deck, you're gonna want a lot of your you're gonna want certain spells and traps in your grave because they benefit heavily. Alright, so we're gonna get Lily out the way. Then I play to Virtual World Oto Hami Toto, or just Toto. She can be normal summoned without a tribute if you control psychic or wind monsters or no monsters at all. She goes to the graveyard, you can discard one psychic or wind monster, special summon her as a tuner, but she banishes when she leaves the field. Pretty useful, pretty normal for a 6-star. You can bring her back as a tuner too. Make a lot of plays off that depending. The fact that it allows virtual monsters, she's not the only one who does this, gives you a choice to change it to a tuner and special summon it back is pretty nice. So let's get her out the way. And I run 2 Virtual World Roshi Lao Lao. Now Lao Lao is a 7-star tuner. Well, 6, my bad. But his effect's the same as the others, starting anyways. Target a virtual world card you control, send one of a different type of the target to the grave. And then when he hits the field, he lets you special summon a 3-star monster. Well, actually, special summon one virtual monster from your graveyard defense with a different name from the card sent to the grave. So if you send a monster in the grave, you're going to just have to grab a different monster. But if you send spell or trap to the grave, off Roshi to get him out in the field, I mean, you can grab whatever you want at that point. I keep forgetting about that, though. I'm still getting used to playing this archetype. It's very, very nice. I've been able to come up with a lot of big brain strategies about it. I've even figured out how to add some draw power to this. A lot of people tell me, or been telling me, use Pot of Desires. Personally, Pot of Desires is risky. You banish 10, face down, you draw some cards. But, there's a rule. I don't know if it's current or not anymore. I remember this being a rule a while ago. I need to recheck. If a card is banished face down, you're not able to cycle it back from banishment unless the card that's trying to pull it back specifically says that they can do face down cards. Alright, so Roshi does special summons, Psychic Tuner, 6-star, free real estate. So we'll get him out of the way, and then we'll go on to my last Virtual World monster from main deck. I'll elaborate my other stuff, go over to my sinkers next. 1 Ninian. I need 3 of these. I'm in the process of trying to get 3 of these. Ninian's nice. If the level 3 monster is normal or special, while this is in the grave, it comes back from a grave, gets special summon, turns into a tuner. But it gets banished when it leaves the field. So basically, cycle it to the grave, do one of your special summons, get a free monster to the field that's a tuner, banish it when it leaves the field, etc. Pretty nice. You can do a lot of extender plays off this. I have, personally, especially against my buddy's Despian deck, which, if you look at one of my other videos, it's something I posted up really recently. Something when I was trying to test out this deck real good. Get that out of the way. We're going to elaborate we'll go ahead and elaborate my hand traps or my stuff of that aspect. Alright, so first one, Nibiru. If you've played Yu-Gi-Oh before, or you play current or meta, you know what Nibiru does. After 5 normal specials, blows up their field, gives them a token, gives you him. You want to enjoy a spring to stop the pesky fetching from deck cards. One Effect Veiler because negating effects at the right time is awesome. 1 Ghost Ogre because I don't have enough Joy Springs to put in here, so Ghost Ogre will be just a strong second for right now, just to get rid of stuff. Infinite Impermanence to negate effects, and also Calm Destruction. One Dino Wrestler, Pink Terratops. I'm going to just call him Dino Wrestler, I can never pronounce his whole last name. We're nice free monster field, quick effect, and some destruction. And then 1 Dark Ruler, no more to deal with. Dragoon, your opponent's annoying monsters that do negates, anything like that. And I've already used it, and it's already been pretty awesome. So, without further ado, those are the little hand traps, little bullshit that's like hand traps. We're going to go over the spells and traps for this deck that are Virtual World related. So first off, 3 Virtual World Gate Quinlan. Quinlan is awesome. You can banish a Virtual World card from your graveyard, target one face-up monster field, negates effects to the end of the turn. So it's got a field presence, but I use it more. I like to keep one on the field and then the other 2 in the grave, or cycle them out. Because you can banish it from grave, add a virtual monster from your deck to your hand, and then send 1 card from your hand to the grave. So use it, add a virtual monster like Ninian, for example, pitch it to the grave, and then get started on your cycle, because you're probably going to be special summoning a 3-star, which means Ninian's going to come straight back to the field as a tuner. And then you can make a play off that, depending on how you want to go with it. So 3 Quinlongs. And you got 3 Virtual World City Kalalun. Now let's let you place a Virtual World Gate from your deck face up on the field, spell a trap. I usually use it to place face up trap cards because that means they're already up and already able to be used. And then after you do that, you get bonuses based off the sequence of how many Virtual World Gates you have in the field. If you have 2 all virtual monsters, you control get 200. If you have 3, send the top 3 cards of your deck to grave, which could be different and could be useful. I usually use it for the 4. Special summon up to 4 virtual monsters with different names from your extra deck. Now, Virtual World City does not clarify that the gates need to be different from each other, because there's only 3 Virtual World Gates, or 3 that I'm aware of, and you could easily just have like 2 Quinlong and 2 other ones, or 3 Quinlong. I don't know why, but you could have 3 of them on the field, put that, bring down a 4th, and then dump 4 extra deck monsters to the field for free with no cost. It's pretty awesome. So we'll get that out of the way. And we're going to go with a Virtual World Gate Zanwu. Zanwu is pretty nice because when it's on the field face up during the battle phase, if I control another Virtual World Gate, I can target face up monster and change its battle position. It's really beneficial during the when it's in the grave, though. You cycle it to grave, you banish it, you send 1 card from your hand to grave, and then you can special summon any virtual monster from your graveyard. Just you need to have the card in your hand, and it just does not have an effect. So you can use it to fetch back tuners. You can use it to fetch back Shinshin, Juju, anything else. You can use it to try to really extend and really break their board and lose part of yours, get some of yours back, and reset. I've actually already tested this with my buddy. That he's 100% broken my board down, cleared my field of nothing, and then on my turn, because I had the appropriate stuff in the grave for like Xinwu and Quinlong and stuff like that, I reset up a whole nother board on my turn because I had a bunch of stuff in my grave that I can banish to cycle stuff from my deck to hand or from my graveyard to the field. It was awesome. It was beautiful. So, last Virtual World Gate is Choji. Choji's awesome. Choji, when it's face up on the field, which is where you're going to want it. When it's face up on the field, target face up card on the field, shuffle 2 of your Virtual World cards with different names from each other. Shuffle 2 of your banish back into your deck, so cycling it back, and then target 1 card on the field, destroy it. So yeah, it's destruction. It targets, but it's pretty annoying. It's very annoying. I found it to be very useful. Once in the grave, you can banish Choji, and then you can target a virtual monster, and then you can increase or decrease the level of the monster by 3. I wish it was 1 to 3, but it's only 3. If it was 1 to 3, I could do a lot more, but useful. Yeah, very good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and elaborate the rest of the stuff that I use in this deck. That's just filler stuff for the time being. Mercy Teleport, I would have 3, but they're $9 a pop, and I haven't found anyone else who has 2 others right now that wants to come off them. Special summon level 3 or lower psychic monster from your hand or deck, but banish it during the end phase. So, use it to bring out Lulu. I like to use it to bring out Ninian. Or have Ninian in the grave, use it to bring out Lulu. Ninian will come to the field, sink 6 out, sinks for Juju. Use Juju's effect and banish some shit. Get rid of something else. I'll elaborate Juju here in a minute. and then turn, cycle it back, go into Shinshin, cycle Shinshin back, go into Cloud Castle, and then Shinshin would come out from Cloud Castle effect from grave. Okay, so I run one Emergency Teleport, which isn't bad. I run Falling Current for level manipulation, which is between 1 and 3. Which target face-up monster you control, declare a level between 1 and 3, and it becomes that level. So, level manipulation, I would like to have 3 of them because level manipulation is kind of huge with this deck. I run one Blizzard just to negate effects for face-up spells and then keep them from using it for the rest of the turn. I run Compulse just to bounce something back to hand at targets, unfortunately, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is a budget deck, by the way. Like, I'm gonna elaborate the fact that I probably spent maybe in total $30 for the whole deck, but that's because I got a lot of stuff out of 10s. Mirror Force because it's Mirror Force. Dark Bribe when it's the right time, because I mean, letting them draw a card's not great, but if you Dark Bribe their card and you win the duel because of it, it'll weighs out pretty good when you think about it like that. Okay, so let me get them out of the way. A Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy back row. Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn. A Mind Control. Now, you're probably thinking, why Mind Control? Mind Control just targets a monster your opponent controls until the end phase. You know what it does. But the reason is, I can use it and take face down monsters from them too. And flip their stuff face up. For example, like take it face down, because I can change the battle position. I just can't attack or tribute it, but nobody tributes. I would use it as link material, sync material, which that's not tributing. Tributing is for tribute summons only, or unless it has a card effect that says you have to tribute. Alright, then I play Signet Universe, which is a mid-tier card. It's used, I use it to cycle monsters from my grave back into my deck, but I've realized I can kind of do that with Virtual World monsters anyways. Terraforming, which is limited to 1, unfortunately. And then we're going to go over like my draw power cards, ironically. 2 Tilted Tries and a Supply Squad. People are sleeping on Tilted Try. I'll elaborate. Tilted Try is when you do your normal draw for your draw phase, you can reveal that card. Then you can place it on the bottom of your deck and then draw again. So say you draw a card, you don't like it, you reveal it, put it on the bottom deck, draw again. Okay, so you didn't like the card you drew. You used Tilted Try's second effect, which its second effect would be you reveal it again. The card you revealed would go to the bottom deck, Tilted Try to be destroyed, you draw another card. So in turn, drawing twice in the same turn, depending, makes it so say if you don't like something, you can pitch it, try again. Now, Supply Squad is an old card. The monster you control destroy a battle or card effect, draw a card. Real simple. It's just there, just leave it on the field, etc. It kind of filler for right now until I get another Tilted Try, but it's there for just some draw power. I was running Reload, but I cut Reload out because that's like a cycling kind of would work. I thought about Card Destruction, which is really old, but you know, your opponent will benefit off that too. So, no bueno. Alright, so we're going to elaborate the extra deck now, or the one that I'm using. So, we're going to start off with my main boy for this. Where is he at? We run 2 Shinshin. Shinshin's awesome. They sync 9. Anything that's sent from the field to the grave is banished instead. When he declares an attack, he can pull one of my banished virtual monsters from my banished pile and throw it back in my graveyard. And then when he is in the graveyard, the following turn, after he goes to the grave, you can banish two monsters from your grave with different original type and attribute from each other. Which, that can be just 2 monsters that are different from each other. So, it doesn't even have to be virtual world monsters, for example, but you'd want to banish them because you can turn around and get it back off Shinshin's effect. So 2 Shinshin, he's like the big beefy boss monster for the archetype anyways. GG, let me find my other GG. Let me look for this man. I run 2 of these in this deck, but apparently one of them is not present for some reason. Let me go find him real fast. Well, luckily I have another one sitting right here. 2 GGs. 6-star, can't be destroyed by battle or card effects when you have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard with the same original type and attribute but different names, which that's easy for this deck. You can banish 2 monsters from your graveyard with the same original type attributes but different names and target card on the field and send it to the grave. You can just send, but it targets. It doesn't destroy, but you can send. So, interesting. You can do some plays off that, trust me. Alright, so 2 Virtual World Shell Jaja. Jaja's very annoying. I feel like he slept on. What I do with Jaja anyways is Jaja's effect is you can detach 1 material. Target face-up monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle until the end of your opponent's turn. So it gives out battle protection. Now, once per turn after damage calculation, if this card battled an opponent's monster while you have 2 more monsters in your graveyard with the same attribute, banish that monster. So what you could do is you could slap Jaja with his own effect, and then you can just start running him into people. Because 1, he wouldn't die because he'd give himself battle protection. After damage calculation, a monster would get banished. So my case, I've thought about this too. I would use Jaja. Say if my opponent's got Dragoon, and I've already got Jaja on the field. They just now threw out Jaja. They just threw out Dragoon. I've already had Jaja on the field. I've already detached to give him protection. Run Jaja on the Dragoon. Because his effect does not target. So I could just banish Dragoon with a little 1,000 attack monster. Which would be pretty hilarious. Unless he, of course, tries to negate it. Which you'd both negate first. Alright, so another Virtual World card is Virtual World Dragon Long. He's very weird. You need the same type and attribute and level 3 monsters to get him from the field. You cannot target this card with card effects while it has XYZ material on it. Your opponent activates the effect of a monster with an attribute that is not on their field while they control a face-up monster. So they only have one attribute on the field. So say if it's a light monster and they use the effect and they don't have 2 light monsters on the field, I can detach 2 and negate the activation of the effect. Interesting. It should just negate the effect. Negating the activation, though, kind of means that they could just try to use it again in the same context. So we'll get those out of the way. I run 2 Cloud Castle. Throw it out, sync 9, limits level 8 or lower monsters. When they get normal or special, they can't attack the same turn. I mainly use it to get my 9-star synchro monsters from my graveyard back to the field, like for example Shinshin. Pretty easy too. Now I run 1 Stellar Wind Wolfrite. He's a 9-star, very easy to bring out. If I throw him out at the beginning of my combinations, his effect is he gains 500. He gains 300 attack per effect, monster effect. When he pretty much gets his counter up to 5, you put it at 4,000. You can quick effect and shuffle this card into the deck, and all monsters your opponent controls enter the deck. That doesn't target either. Would totally get rid of Dragoon, since a lot of people don't like Dragoon. I have him on the field. Typically, you can clear the board, or at least the monsters on board for me, pretty easily. And then when it gets to the 4, you guys try to swim through them before I quick effect it. Alright, then we got a little juiciness. We have OG Star Eater. 11-star battle protection when he attacks. Cannot negate his summon. It's great. Then we have Clearwing Fast Dragon for the quick effect to drop attack to 0 and to negate monster effects. And then we got Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to gain attack off your opponent's monsters and negate monster effects. You're probably thinking, oh, sinks and XYZs, that's pretty good, yeah, right? So, I run 2 Link monsters. They're Link 4s. Well, one is. I run Apollo, Bow of the Goddess, Appaloosa. And if you know what this card does before, it used to be really strong. It's still pretty strong. I use it throughout 4 monsters. Well, not throughout 4 monsters. I'll use 4 monsters for it, get it up to 3200 when it hits the field, and then it can use its quick effect to negate a monster's effect once per chain. It's not a once per turn effect. If you do several chains, or we pop off several chains between our altercations with each other, I can, as long as the chain is different, I can sit there and keep using it. But she loses 800 attack on the cost. And then my favorite girl of this deck, fucking Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Another card that gets slept on. I use it a lot to get rid of Dragoon. It's not a kaiju, but it kind of acts like a kaiju. But this thing's beefy. I've been talking about this card for a while, since Blazing Vortex anyways. Underworld Goddess requires 4 effect monsters, literally 4 effect monsters, so link rating does not matter when it comes to that. You can't really cheese her out any other way. 4 effect monsters, and then she's a link 5, so you can do your 4 monsters and then one of your opponents. Right? Or you could do 3 of your monsters, as long as like you have a link 2 involved in your 3, and then one of your opponents. So when she hits the field, let's see. Her effect clarifies, by the way, that you can use one of your opponent's monster for the material, if that confuses anyone. So when she hits the field, she negates the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, so she just kind of comes out there and dumps on them. This link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects unless they target this card. So if it doesn't say target, it's not going to work on it. And she has a quick effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons from grave, she can negate the activation. Pretty chunky, yeah. Very, very chunky card. Really slept on. Really good to get rid of Dragoon. One of my favorites. Hell, I can't tell you how many times I've thrown this out on someone's boss monster and they're like, what the fuck? How? It's like, oh, yeah, read the card. There it is right there. Negate all your monster effects. Lose your beef monster. I keep my Underworld Goddess because it's not a kaiju. And then now you got to target her. So you can't hit her with Mirror Force. You can't hit her with Trinal. You can't hit her with Lightning Storm. You can't hit her with Lightning Vortex. Anything that AoEs and doesn't say it's targeting will not work. Dragoon's effect, right? If I remember correctly, his effect states to send. Doesn't say target. So, say if I already threw this down, they throw another Dragoon out, right? They go to use Dragoon's pop effect. It's not going to work on her. Because Dragoon's pop effect doesn't say it's targeting. It just says, like to send. Her effect literally requires that she has to be targeted. See what I'm getting at? I've used it before. It's a pretty fucking awesome card. Now, let me, I did say I was going to go over some, like, plays that I've figured out. I'm sure anyone who's played Virtual World kind of does similar plays to this. But, let me, shuffle up real quick. I'm actually not even... You know what? I'm just going to do a dry hand real fast. I'll just do a dry hand real quick and see what I can draw. Alright, so that's over there. This over here. Give myself a little 5-stack shuffle. Need to figure out how to get these stains out of this mat. Note to self, for anyone who likes to get your little fancy, sexy mats, don't get them in white. White shows dirt. Even though I'm a man using white sleeves right now, which is pretty hilarious, actually. I just dry hand it real fast. If my hand isn't spicy enough as it is, I'll just go straight into the combinations. But if you like doing a dry hand, then just drawing, showing it that way is more realistic than just setting cards aside and be like, these are the combos you could do, you know? because I'll do a dry hand and then I'll do the combos. So let's see what we get. Mirror Force. Okay, so we didn't get a virtual world card. Let's draw for 6. We got Nibiru and we got a Ghost Ogre. Okay, so what I would do is Mirror Force would be face down. That would be face down. I would use Tilted Try. I would use Virtual World City. I would go for probably go for Kowloon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go for Kowloon. Go ahead and play it. And then obviously just set on my field until the turn's over. Go to draw again. Drew a Dark Bribe. Use Tilted Try. Reveal it. Put it down. Draw again. Don't like it. Use Tilted Try again. Put it down. Destroy it. And I got a Gem Wheel. Which that's, I can make a play off that essentially. But the key for this is you just need to have at least one virtual world monster in your hand to start. One in your hand and one virtual world gate. So I'm gonna do another dry hand, and if the dry hand doesn't suffice, which that one was alright, but I had Nibiru in my hand, so in first turn I probably would have been able to throw it down on your opponent. Most people typically do their heavy special summons on turn 2 if they're going second. So let's see what this one gives me. Nibiru. Okay, here we go. Alright. So this is pretty good. This is a pretty good hand right here. So I would obviously hold on to the Nibiru until I need it. Dark Bribe would go face down. I would normal Ninian. I use Gigi's effect from hand. On target Ninian, I will pitch Quinlong. GG would come to field. GG's effect would go off where you can special summon a level 3 monster on the end phase because you special summon GG the way you did. Okay? Then I would use Lily's effect from hand. I would target Ninian. So I'll send a trap to the grave right now. Lily would come to field. I would get Lily's second effect, which is the choice. And then since I targeted a monster, I sent the trap. I can send the spell to grave now too. Send Quinlong. Another Quinlong. Now here's an interesting thing, and I'm going to do it right now here in a minute. So, banish Quinlong, add a virtual world card from my virtual monster from my deck to hand. Take Lulu. It's going to make me send a card to grave. I'm going to send Nibiru. Probably thinking, wow, don't send Nibiru. Don't worry, he's going to come back. He'll come back, trust me. I have plenty of cards that will put him right back in the deck. Signet Universe, for example. That, and I can banish him with Shin Shin, and then throw him back into the deck with Choji. So Lily the hand, Lily's effect, I would target Gigi. So I would pay cost first. And what I'm going to do is I will send a trap to grave, and then show it the field, and then I'll get to add a spell to my hand. It's a Kowloon. So, look at that. This first turn, I've already gotten a pretty decent setup when it comes to monsters. I'll go ahead and use Virtual World City Kowloon. It stays on the field actually until I get it, and then applies the sequence, but the sequence here is going to be 1. It's going to let me put it face up. Face up, spell, or trap. So I sent one Shoji to grave, but I did that on purpose, and I'm going to get the other Choji face up. Now, next thing I would do from here because you're still going to get GG's effect on end phase anyways. I would, let's see. I would sync out 9. Into Wolfrite. Let me get a dice real quick, because we're going to need it for this example. Okay. Then I am, let's see, how do I want to do this? My Gen Will as in the grave, I'm going to go ahead and, oh no, I'm actually not going to do that just yet. I'll go ahead and overlay these two. And the Jaja, we're going to go ahead and use Jaja's effect. Detach 1. Put my Wolfrite up to 1. And I would slap Jaja's effect on probably Wolfrite. So Wolfrite has battle protection until my turn again. Then I would banish that, target Jaja, turn him up to a 6. And the reason why I would do that is so I could immediately use Choji, target one of their cards. Assuming this is not turn 1, target one of their cards, hit it, cycle these back. Then go to my end phase, my GG's effect, take Lily back to my hand. This is go up to 2. Alright, so say if it comes back to you, they haven't already got rid of your stuff, they haven't completely wiped you, they threw down something moderate and pass turn. So we got Lily in hand, we're going to draw for turn. Look at that, we drew a Dark Ruler no more. So, I would reapply Jaja's effect real quick on him, putting it up to 3. Then I would use Lily's effect from hand. I'll target Choji. I'll send a spell to the grave. I'm actually going to send a monster to the grave. And then when it comes out, I can add a spell to my hand. So Toto, she'll come out as a special. She used 2 effects too. She used her first effect and her second one, so he's up to 5. So he's already ready to roll, basically. Let me add my spell to my hand real quick, which was going to be where is that? It's going to be Virtual World City Kowloon. Now, since Lulu has got special from hand to field, you guessed it, it means I'm going to go fetch Ninian. Ninian's going to come back, but Ninian is a tuner this time. And we'll get banished. So I'll go ahead and use City. Now I'll use City to go grab Quinlong and put a Faceable in the field, and that's going to apply the sequence, which is 3 at this point. Well, 2. So they'd all gain 200 attack. Now, if you don't need to use the Dark Ruler no more in this situation, I would pitch it right now, which I'm going to. I'm going to banish Zinwell. Discard Dark Ruler no more. Special summon Lily from a grave, but Lily has no effect. Okay. I would sync these 2 out, which would Ninian get banished. Go ahead and go into Shen Shen, making his effect active. I'm gonna cut it short at that, actually, boys. But thanks for watching.